Hi, this is Shuai and today it's gonna be Shuai Jiao and Judo, Japan and China. Now, for those of you who don't know, Shuai Jiao is a Chinese jacket style of wrestling, and it stretches back literally thousands of years. Some say around between 6 to 8,000 years, and it is the origin of many grappling arts in Southeast Asia like both wrestling, sumo wrestling, and Jiu-Jitsu. Now, it is obvious that it has its influence due to the dynasties and the incredibly rich history of the nation of China. This video is not going to be like the others where I go into similar throws and try to see the different approaches to it, because they pretty much share a ton of throws together, but rather I'm going to go through the core differences when it comes to the expression and also just the structural differences between the two, because Judo as a body in today's age is a lot different than Shuai Jiao, and also there is a lot when it comes to how they dress, and that alone creates a different type of expression. So the first one that we're gonna go through is the scoring system. Now, the scoring system is a bit tricky, especially for Shuai Jiao, but when it comes to Judo, it is pretty much universal. The ippon is absolutely everything. The ippon is, in the Japanese mentality, the do or die. You do everything to score the ippon. It represents the battlefield, so on and so forth. You can get it from a clean throw, and in case you get unlucky with the throw, there is always the wazari, and 2 wazari is an ippon. The wazari is scored mainly when you land on your sides and the lower back. And there's also arm lock, kansetsu waza, joint locks that can also score the ippon by the tap. There's also shimewaza or choking techniques that can be continued when the fight goes to the ground. Like here you see the okuri erijime can also get the tap. And one final way to score ippon is the osaikomi or the pin. Now, the osaikomi is when the opponent has 2 shoulders pinned to the ground and they cannot get out from underneath you, even though, for example, they might look like they're shrimping, etc. But if they cannot get the escape, they will be under the pin, and the pin is usually 20 seconds and it's an ippon. But in case you happen to score a wazari, it's 10, and if your opponent comes out of the pin under the 20 seconds but after the 10 seconds, it is considered a wazari. So all you need is like a half throw almost, and you can win the match. But it's usually a do or die situation. But in Shuai Jiao is a bit different. There's not a like a body for Shuai Jiao universally, kind of like Judo. It differs from region to region. For example, in Hong Kong or China, you might still find very traditional styles where any part of you that touches the ground, very much like sumo, anything other than the soles of the feet touches the ground, it is an instant win. For example, like both wrestling, where some can like the torso or the knees. It depends also from the region, but for example, there is the one big European federation of Shuai Jiao. It has a point scoring system. For example, they have, if your opponent lands on one hand or one elbow on one knee, it's 1 point. It is 2 points if they land on 2 hands or 2 elbows or 2 knees. You have also, when you drop on the torso and when you drop on the back is different. You have also penalties, like if you go out of the circle or you do not engage. So it is a bit like wrestling almost, where several throws or how they land, they earn you several points. So it is a bit westernized in the European Federation of Shuai Jiao, but in old school traditional Shuai Jiao, it really depends on the region, but it's usually that the throw, any body contact with the ground, it gets you the win. Hence the inspiration in boch and sumo wrestling can be found from the old ancient Chinese wrestling. So that's one of the core differences between the two, is that Judo has a universal body, a worldwide body, where anywhere you go in the world you can pretty much find the same rules. But Shuai Jiao is a bit, I'm not gonna say chaotic, but it is a bit random when it comes to the rules of scoring. The second one is the grip fighting, and that, in my opinion, will create a different expression of the same throws. Now you have the judo gi, which is very long and very thick, and they rely a lot on it, and the Shuai Jiao jacket that has really short sleeves and really short skirt, and that will result in different style of expression. Now when it comes to judo's grip fighting, it is a bit strict in my opinion. For example, you have grips that you have to do them quickly and attack as soon as you have the grips, like pistol grips, belt grips, and even when you have a grip deep down the back and your opponent's posture is completely broken, you have several seconds until you attack. For example, Neto against Jofrida in the Paris Grand Slam, she got eliminated because she had Odette's posture completely broken, and she just couldn't attack, so it looked like stalling. But anything else, its sleeve, lapel, you can't grab too long, you have to attack immediately. Also the bear hug, anything like S grip, gable grip, butterfly grip is illegal. In case you want to do a bear hug, it is you have one grip grabbing the jacket, the second should be on top of your own hand or grabbing the jacket as well, and you have to attack immediately unless you get a shido or a penalty. So you see, it is a bit dense in the rules when it comes to gripping, and also you have the garment that covering the entire torso. Also with the skirt, if the skirt is under the belt, you cannot grab it. Also with the pants, the legs, that's a big no-no. And the skirt, if it's over the belt, if it's loose, you only have a few seconds to grab it and to just attack. So it is very strict, but you have a lot of options. However, in Shuai Jiao, I believe that I might be wrong on this, so if any Shuai Jiao practitioner can correct me on this one, please do. I find that they are a bit lenient on the grabbing. For example, grabbing the belt as long as you want, clinching, grabbing the legs, also depends on the region. All of it you can do just fine. And another thing is that simply because of the length of the sleeves, we will result in far more underhooks and overhooks. I talked about this in my Mongolian judo video, where the sleeves are too tight. That will result in a lot of underhooks and overhooks. And the same with Shuai Jiao and Shidaoba wrestling, because there's no sleeves or barely any sleeves, as you see here. So that will result in a different expression of throws. It will look more like freestyle wrestling. And there's also some gripping, like deep down the back, the belt, but I would imagine there's no shido if you grab too long or you didn't attack immediately. But if I'm mistaken, please feel free to correct me. But I would imagine the rules concerning judo grips are far more strict than Shuai Jiao. But the main difference is that with the absence of the sleeves, you will result in far more overhooks and underhooks in uchimata or uchigari, or any hip tosses that you might find common with judo in Japanese wrestling. So here you can see you can also grab the wrists, you can also grab same side, and there's sweeping. So it is pretty much like when it comes to the expression, it's here you can see there's an overhook when attempting a throw, and there's also collar grabs. But anything pertaining to the arms, it's either high on the sleeve, up on the shoulder level, or anything that's like over and underhooks. There's also even like a Russian tie. Here this looks like a little bit like standard kumikata. They can grab the legs. So it might differ in terms of expression in the grip fighting, especially the rules, and also how the garment and the jacket is designed. It is differently. So this is mainly the core difference in the grip fighting. The next one is going to be the styles, and I said this earlier, judo has like one body worldwide. We can pretty much agree that it is the Ippon Judo, the Olympic Judo style, or IJF style of judo, or the Kodokan style of judo, which is mainly focused around the Ippon, the Nagewaza, or the throw, followed by everything that's Katamewaza as a second priority in judo. But it is mainly anywhere in the world where you go. If I go now to Russia, if I go to Japan and I practice in a decent academy, I would find the rules are pretty much the same. But in Shuai Jiao, that will differ, and there is several styles which I'm gonna discuss later. Now there's also, I know, Kosen Judo, which takes the fight far more into newaza and drives the fight to the ground. They pull the guard, so on and so forth. But nonetheless, it is in the Katamewaza, you are still in the part of Judo, but there are other styles of Shuai Jiao where they focus also on submissions. For example, you have several styles. The first one is Zili or Hebei style, which traces back to the Yellow Emperor. It also has like wrestling with the jacket. You have the Beijing style, which it was practiced by the Imperial Guards Brigade in China, and its main characteristics are using the leg kicks and sweeps and off-balancing the opponent, and also the use of arm locks. So submissions do exist in the Beijing style of Shuai Jiao. You have the Tianjin style, which is the lineage of the Ming dynasty, and the main characteristics is the use of leg kicks to off-balance and sweeping, and also the use of forearms in blocking, and there's also striking. So there's not much of a strict system like in the IJF or Kodokan rules. It might differ from region to region, and also China is a big country. So you have also the Baoding style, which is the lineage called fast wrestling. The main characteristics is the explosive style of and fast application of techniques. It's also an adaptation of Shaolin Quan from Ping Jin Yi. So it's mainly known for its explosiveness. You have also the Shan Qi style, which is the lineage of the Song dynasty, and it is practiced mainly in the counties between mining city of Deitong and Shanxi province, so hence the name Shanxi style. The main characteristics is actually grabbing the legs, so they shoot for like double legs, sukuinage, scooping throws, double legs, single legs, the whole deal with the leg grabbing things, and it looks a lot like freestyle wrestling. They also don't wear pants, they only wear tight lengths pants only to the knee, so it's like the wrestling shorts. You have, and finally you have the Mongolian style, which is a style that traces its lineage to Donghu in China. So it is like an inner Mongolian and also Mongolian style, and practiced mainly by Mongolians, hence the name Mongolian style. So I hope you enjoyed this little breakdown. It is mainly the core differences that I find are how the jacket is made, and which will create a different expression of the throws, and also grip fighting, because grip fighting, believe it or not, is a big part of Judo. I know people that do Jiu-Jitsu or wrestling, they don't see that subtle part of Judo, but grip fighting is incredibly huge in Judo, and it is riddled with rules. In Shuai Jiao, it differs because the length of the sleeves. For example, when the gi first emerged, if you see like the gis from the 1800s, they were like very short, a bit similar to this, but they reached the elbow. So you can see that there is some inspiration. In Shuai Jiao, there's also the like underhooks and overhooks, which also differs in expression, and also the different styles, because there's not one body containing the entire discipline. Some people think this is good, some people think this is bad, but I'm glad that IBJJF and IJF exist, because they bring out the art, they make it more worldwide and available and under one rule set. Now I know the rules sometimes can be a little bit absurd, that's normal with every martial arts, but nonetheless they do a great job of promoting and keeping the art. Now I know some rules get rid of techniques, etc., but that's another topic for another day. But if you have anything else to add, please share it down below. This was Shadi, and thank you for listening.